here is what we are talking about. We are talking about friendship.
I love friendship.
Yeah, isn't it great?
My Little Pony
Yeah.
teaches. Friendship is
Dude,
magic, don't you know?
That reminds me of the Pymation's "Friendship is Violence" video.
Oh yeah, I know.
I can pull it up in a little bit, but first, I'm going to pull up my podcast notes, maybe. So I wrote a paper for my English class on this.
Okay.
And the question that I first looked at was, is there a subconscious we're just gonna call it a subconscious force because I can't think of a word for it right now that naturally draws you towards certain people. And I kind of thought yes on that, but I want to hear your thoughts on that question.
All right, so subconscious, so a force that just draws you to the people that you like. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I mean, I think scientifically, I think everybody thinks the answer is yes here. I mean, even if you're not thinking science, you're thinking fate-wise. So I want to say yes, always. There's this idea that I'm sure everybody understands that we as humans have evolved quite frequently away from other animals, and there's these pheromones in the air that we just don't get affected by. And I personally think that's a huge thing for humans. I think that people are just we're so evolved that we are never going to be affected by pheromones. But in reality, I mean, you don't know the reason why you like your friends. I mean, of course you like your friends because they're nice and they're cool. Who doesn't think their friends are nice and cool? Tell me one person.
Objection. I have an objection to that. No, I'm kidding.
Billy
I'm kidding.
is lame as shit. We love you.
I also just now realized that I forgot to introduce anyone that I'm doing this with. So this.
Oh man, we're starting over.
This is Amnesty Moon. We're only 2.5 minutes in. Besides, I always believe in one take for anything that's project related, because I think that everything you do is going to happen for a reason, and you should just roll with it.
Zombieland clip.
Play the Zombieland clip.
One and done. That's what I always say.
One and done.
All right.
But yeah. Anyway, do you want to introduce yourself, or do you want me to introduce you?
I'll introduce myself. I'm Jason Martinez. I am also known as Amnesty Moon, or in the big city, I'm Big Papa. But that's about it. So yeah, be like that.
He's the one with the cute bear. And then
you can call me Papa Bear. So we go.
Papa Bear.
Papa Bear.
I'm good with it. And then we also have Killian Gwyn, also goes by Inner Demon.
Yo.
He's sort of here, sort of doing homework. He was just kind of here, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a podcast," and he was like, "Okay."
The topic is friendship, and friends don't do homework alone.
Friends don't do homework alone. Exactly. Anyway, moving back towards discussion stuff now.
I love you too, baby.
We were talking about subconscious drive that caused us to become friends with people. So you agreed with me on that, which I kind of not surprised.
Wow, you're saying I can't have other opinions? All right,
whoa.
I can do this.
Whoa! No! It's okay. So then my next kind of bit is a little bit less on the well, why are we just naturally drawn to people, and more just what makes us stay?
Oh man, that's actually a really difficult thing. What makes you stay in contact with a human being? I think everybody kind of has their own reasons. I think personally, I have a reason to stay when I make friends that are really good. I think that if somebody is willing to put in the same work for me that I am for them, I think that really keeps me around. I mean, I can't talk because I'm terrible at leaving people because I'm just a loyal person. But I think that everybody has their reasons for doing things that they do. I think that everybody has their limitations. So I mean, I'm not gonna you're not gonna get mad at your friend if they got I know, I'm sorry, this is a terrible analogy. If your friend got terminal cancer.
Oh my god, shit went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick.
You know this is how conversations
in the
would
first
go.
half, not
But like, say your friend gets like terminal cancer and then doesn't talk to you for like 6 months because they're like in and out of the hospital. You're not gonna be like, they don't care about me anymore. That's dumb as shit. But like, if they are just like, yeah, I just didn't want to talk with you, I didn't want to like be there, I didn't want to like do anything, like it's a little bit more offensive, isn't it? Isn't it just like a little bit more kind of like, well, you didn't want to be there for like almost a year, just because, like, just purely because you just didn't want to be there. It's not really like the same type of person that you want to be around as like somebody who like had a life-changing event go on. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I completely get that.
Okay, yeah, and then that's just kind of how like people are. Like, you want to be with these people that are like positive forces for you. You want to be with like the people that put in the same effort, and that's not saying like the same effort 24/7, because there's going to be days where, and we've all had those days where you're just tired. You're just tired and you're depressed and you just don't want to do anything, and then like you're just like, hey, I only want to put in like 10%, and that's where your friends have to make up that other like 90% of the relationship. That's fine, like 100%. That's always a fine thing to do with people. But if you do it consistently, if you don't give back, then you're just pushing that person away. And I think everybody, like, there's not a single person that can ever say they haven't done that to somebody, and that's okay, because like that's the cycle of friendship right there.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better. Also, like, you know, a bit of a surface level answer to this is also just like, you know, you stay because you have fun with them and whatnot. But I think
don't know, man. I've played a lot of video games with you, and I don't know about that shit. I think that it comes down to not only just having fun, but like what you need. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, do we need to like hang out and have fun? Like, I mean, no, we don't. We don't need to do that. There are friends that I definitely don't have fun with, like go out and like party and like have fun. But like, they're also the friends that I can like sit down and be like, hey, can we discuss this like political topic? And it's nice because like you can have an intellectual conversation with them and respect each other. I think that like, instead of like the having fun, it's the respect that's there between two people, because fun is just like such a very derogative term. There's definitely times where me and you, and of course Inner, have gotten angry at each other, but it's like you have that respect. Like, it's not like we're saying things to just be mean. Sometimes you're just saying things because it's the way that you have to say it, and you have to respect how someone's talking to you, what the word, not the words they use, but the message they're trying to get across. And that's a really, really like difficult thing for a lot of people, is to understand that words mean shit nothing. I could literally go tell you to go fuck off, and it's up to you to understand that I'm not in a good mood, something else is affecting it, and I'm gonna have to like get over that later. And is it the nicest thing? Fuck no. Hell no. There's no reason to ever tell anybody just to fuck off. Am I gonna do it? Fuck yeah, I am, because that's my language, and you guys understand that. You guys aren't gonna take it personally.
For sure.
That's just like, because we have the respect there. Like, I respect you, you respect me. You understand if I say something that I have more respect behind it than I would if I was talking to some random guy off the street.
I think it also, with us at least, since like we've played games for quite a while. We met you back when we were still talking to Frost. So that was at least 3 years ago, if not longer now.
Oh my gosh, was it really? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I know in my junior year, I was playing BDO at the time. And
okay, yeah. No, you're right.
So like that would have been parts of my junior and senior year, and I think it would have been somewhere in my like junior year.
Yeah, I think we were like late junior year. That was late.
I thought it was like mid. I thought it was like mid junior year, because I'm pretty sure I knew you before the whole COVID pandemic.
Oh yeah. I think we did.
I don't know. Damn, I really wish that like you could see.
Roll the
clip. Like how long you've been friends with someone on Discord. I bet maybe you can. Maybe you can. I'm not
probably
sure.
Like a week. Probably like.
Well,
a week.
no, I have your old account though still.
Oh, dude, yeah, check my old account.
And I don't know if you can, or if there's any sort of like stats with it. I don't know. It's actually, let's just take a look online and see if I can find anything.
Go into our personal chat and scroll all the way to the top.
Oh my. I'm gonna be sitting here for the rest of the podcast just letting it auto scroll.
Oh man.
Like, this is years of chat. I mean, I'll do it because like I might as well.
You care.
Oh, okay, hold up.
The first time you messaged was December 9th, 2020, with you saying, fuck Osu, come play 6.
Hey man, fuck Osu, come play 6.
That was the first thing you ever said
Oh my
to me.
god, I had my old
And
keyboard
then we've been best friends ever since, Inner.
I sent you a Discord invite to the old Britannia server on November 18th, 2020. But I know that we were friends before that. I think Discord just doesn't load messages
That's
past
like
that. Because I know I've known you since before then.
I think, yeah, we definitely knew each other before that.
But,
Um,
whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
it'd be like that. It'd be like that.
I guess
Hey, can
actually-
you just go this way?
I could see...
Thank you.
Does Snapchat have that as well? I don't remember.
Snapchat will tell you how long you've been friends. I'm pretty sure.
I gotta
Who
go see if I
knows?
can find that.
We're like so off topic. It's great.
That's how I kind of expected this to go, though. Like, I wanted it to be
100%.
wherever this
No
goes.
podcast
Like, we're
is
just talking about
interesting if
friendship.
You have a script. No podcast is great if you have a script. Trust me about it.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear your scripted, like, one-sided conversation. I want to hear this guy scroll through Snapchat for 3 hours. All right.
I mean, it doesn't help that I'm slightly stupid and I have no idea where I'm supposed to be looking.
Look, I'm literally just trying to be slightly stoned right now, so I got you. For all
Oh
people
wait, here we go.
listening-
I'm blind.
For all people
I got.
listening,
Oh
ping pong.
wait, what?
Oh yeah, that's where it's
That's
at.
only 2020. December of 2020. That still
I think we
doesn't make
added each
sense.
other on Snapchat like after.
Like
we were
way
on Discord.
after Discord.
Yeah, way after.
I don't know. Interesting.
People.
Either
you
way,
know,
I
spiritually,
completely
we were
forgot
just-
why.
That was just how it was. That's how well we knew each other. We were just spiritually linked.
Oh wait, now I remember why I was actually bringing that up. So I feel like our bond is also like very different from a lot of other people that I know for multiple reasons. So like one of the factors I always say is time. And even though like I haven't known you as long as I've known Killian, we've spent a lot of hours together. So like I think time that you spend in conversation with them, whether it's in person, on the phone, over Discord, like just time that you spend getting to know a person, like really changes the type of bond that you have with them. Because like there's people that I know that I met this year, that I've gotten like fairly close with, and it's just like spend time with them. But then like there's people that I know that I knew from my freshman year of high school that I'm not that close with, just simply because like I didn't spend that level of time with them. And then for us as well,
Frost.
just like playing games with each other, it creates a very unique bond. Mostly because like you're always gonna have those games where you
Hey, man,
have
it's
a
not
rough
games,
game.
It's not games, all right. It's team building exercises.
team
all right?
team building exercises.
Team building exercises. All
It
right.
is kind of facts,
It's just
though.
it's just honest. It really is actually. I think I have two best friends actually. I've had them since I was in like middle school. And the first, I know everyone's always like, "Oh, how did you meet your best friends?" That's what like you always ask like first off the conversation. "Oh yeah, we've met like this way." Like everyone loves those stories. Me and my best friend Jonathan met when he knocked a kid out and then blamed it on me, and then I got pulled into the office and they were like, "He says that you knocked this kid out." And I was like, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna write you up." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I'm getting written up, and they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I didn't hit that kid." And they're just like, "Can you prove that?" And I was like, "Well, if I'm gonna have to prove it," and I just beat the shit. Me and John just got in a fight like right there. And then we were both in trouble. And then after that, we've been best friends ever since. And that is the fact. Like that is me and him for a fact. From there forward, just respected the shit of each other. He was like, "You know what? I deserved that." And he was just, and I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, I can respect that. Like, I can respect somebody trying to be a dick, and I can respect that he understood that he was wrong as well. It was just a good time. We've been best friends ever since. We've had conversations. We've discussed everything. It's not a bad thing. I think that like you're supposed to have negatives with people, and I think that if you can like be friends with somebody who can openly be like, "Yeah, I was wrong," even better. I think that like that's a really like strong building exercise to be able to be with somebody who doesn't think I have to be right about everything. Like I'm just like this person in my life is not just always wrong. Like I trust them because they're not always wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think that's also why so many marriages tend to fail. I think isn't the statistic like 50% of marriages end in divorce or something like that?
Man, that was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean that's an
look
old
up that-
statistic. I'm curious, what's the statistic now?
I'm looking that up.
End in divorce 2021. 90% of people in Western cultures married by age 50. About 50% of married couples divorce. The 6th highest divorce rate in the world is the United States.
That's sad.
And I think
That's
I
sad.
literally think that the reasoning behind that is just simply because so many people aren't able to say that they're wrong. Actually, hold up. Oh, that's only for like your first marriage. If you're married a second time, it's a 60% chance, and a 73% of all third marriages end in divorce.
Look, man, I'm beyond.
Wow, so you just
I'll
get
be
screwed
honest.
after the first one with your
I
chances.
I have some experience with divorces, and not because I have been divorced, but because my mom and my dad are divorced, and then my mom has been divorced again by her second husband, and you know, I've had some other people in my life that have been divorced, and I think that like a lot of it is you just don't have the correct conversations. Like, you have to communicate with the person that you're going to be with in a relationship. I think living with somebody is way different when you're married than when you're like just dating, and I don't think people understand that. I think that like there comes a turn when you're like, oh yeah, like if you're dating and you both live in the same place, you're paying for rent the same way you would pay for rent any other situation. Like, I could live anywhere, I could cheat, I could do whatever I want, I could literally go do hard drugs, and I could just come home. And that's what it is. When you're dating, you're just living, I mean, sorry, like profanity, but like you're just fucking your roommate. That's really all that is. But when you're like married, you made like a promise in front of like everybody. Like, there's not really a secret that you're with that person, and like it's a hard thing to do, is to be secretive about your marriage. I mean, you're wearing a ring, you had it in front of all your friends and family, if you did it correctly. If you did it incorrectly, you deserve to be divorced. I mean, that's
Damn.
that's just the honest truth. That's just the honest truth. I mean, like, if you got married and like, you know, I hope to be married one day. I've already planned my marriage in my own like head. I already know what like things I want, what things I'm ready to like discuss, and of course, you know, I want my wife, like fiance, to like put in that effort as well, and I'm not against like discussing it. But when you're like getting like, I've talked to my mom about her divorce, and she's just like straight up told me like my dad just wasn't at the point that he should have been like in their relationship. And I look at my dad now and I'm just like, my dad's like the greatest thing in the world. Like, worked like 2 jobs, like hardworking guy, always provided, had a house on his own, did his own work, all this. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, my dad has perfect credit. Like, I don't know. She's like, he didn't know any of that. Like, he didn't do all this responsibility like when they were together. And that's a fair statement. He didn't. He's talked with me about it. He's been like, I wasn't responsible. He's like, I didn't think about all this stuff like that your mom thought about. I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, you didn't have those conversations before you got married. Like, that, it happens. Like, don't feel bad about it. Like, you know, it is what it is, and you know, that's
That's the
how
motto
it
of the
runs.
podcast. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm like, and I think that a lot of people just can't admit, like you said, you can't admit when you are wrong, and that even like comes into play when you're talking about somebody that you're getting married to. You were wrong when you married them. You were wrong about them. You were wrong about who they were and what they could live up to. And when you found out that they were wrong, like, both of you did not discuss it. Like, neither of you wanted to do it. Like, that's just it at the end of the day. If you wanted to work on it and you did work on it and you guys had like the team building exercises like down to a T, it wouldn't have ended. Now, but are there people that go to like couples therapy and like counseling and they like try to communicate and it just ends? Yeah, it does, because you just got tired, because you just get tired of having to continuously work on something that just isn't working, and that's fine. You just weren't compatible. But 9 times out of 10, marriages aren't just failing because you were just like, oh, I'm not compatible with this person, goodbye. 9 times out of 10, it's like, this person wasn't who I thought they were, and I left, because you didn't have the conversations you needed to when you could have. And that's okay. There's not an issue with that. I think that it's really a weird stigma to be like, that person was married and they were divorced. That'd be like if I looked at someone who was just like, they've had a previous boyfriend and they broke up. Disgusting. I'd be like, that's stupid. It's a stupid mentality to have.
I think another thing that goes into that is goes into like a lot of failed marriages, and I guess also failed friendships as well, is that, you know, school teaches us all sorts of stuff. It teaches us to some degree problem solving, and I personally think that it doesn't teach us nearly enough problem solving. But I think also the culture our society has built has turned into one where it's just like, oh, so and so hurt me, I can't do anything about it to fix the problem. It's all on them, and I think that's also part of the problem, just because we don't teach and we don't give people the tools and knowledge to know how to actually fix their problems and like have a conversation with someone about, hey, you did this, I didn't like this for this reason, can we talk about this?
I'm such a counter for that.
Go for it.
I think that society sucks, and I think that like we have taught each other the worst thing in the world that you teach your kid. And I don't mean this. There's a positives and negatives to this when I say this, but like that words have power, and I think that's like a great thing. I'm sorry if there's crinkling on my end. I'm opening some.
You're fine.
My son.
You're all
but
good.
Like I'm gonna say this is that words have power, and I think that when you tell people that, there's two different ways this goes. Either A, you have the people that are like, I want to be positive with this. Or you have B, where they're just like, I'm going to use this to my advantage because I'm good with words. And it's it's like both ways work. But say somebody hurts you. What's like the easiest thing you can do when you're in school? Hey, I'm going to start a rumor about them. I think that's terrible. I think that it is probably, I mean, I remember I had a best friend in high school. Her name was Lauren. And name drop, fuck it up. But we like always hung out, and like we were like best friends, always talked, always hung out, like chilled after school. And you know, girl, guy, best friends have to be like a thing. And a rumor got spread around that like she would come home with me and like we would do stuff. And I'm like, that's like a really messed up. I don't even know who would like make that, because like in high school I felt like a little bit of a loser. So I'm like, yeah, who's trying to boast me? Who's doing this? You guys are crazy. But like in reality, I'm just like, I told her, I was like, that's funny. And she's like, you think it's funny? And I was like, I do, because like it's just so dumb. Like that just doesn't make any sense. Like being honest, I felt like a loser all throughout high school. I'm just like, why would I not find this rumor that is like obviously like people would think that this is like a crazy, hilarious, like fun thing. Like what guy in high school isn't like, oh yeah, I got laid, oh yeah, yeah, like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, you don't know her, she's from Canada. Like well, like it's a real, like, why? It's like, you're not in Canada, you're literally like one of my best friends, you sit next to me like every day, and like this comes out and you're angry about it, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, that's funny, because if it was true, why would I not be going with it, for one? And for two, because it's not true, like, who thought that this would be a good thing to say? Somebody that just wanted her to just be like totally screwed over in her relationship because she was seeing somebody. And that's just it, is that we just teach people to use their words. And we don't teach them how to use their words, we just teach them that words have power.
I'd agree with that statement.
We don't teach them how to use your words. We teach them, oh yeah, this person wrote this book 100 years ago and it caused like a huge movement, Uncle Tom's Cabin. And it's like it did, you know, like there's these books, To Kill a Mockingbird, like, you know, there are these like pieces of like these masterpieces of words that like really affected like everybody. And then now we have like this generation that can literally post and be viral in like 15 seconds, and we didn't teach them anything about that. We haven't taught them anything about what they should be saying, who they should be saying it to, like how they should be saying things. And it's a difficult overall situation, because now you have people that are getting bullied, and or even better, you just have
I have a story about that as well.
You get random people that are getting harassed. I appreciate you. I'm gonna end it like right here in this last sentence. You can go online and you can see all these videos of people pulling pranks, and they're funny. There are some of them that are funny, but sometimes there's just videos of people just straight up doing rude things to other people, and it's just like, why? Like, this isn't even funny. Like, you just went ahead and are just harassing random people, and I don't find that enjoyable because I'm not a sociopath. And I think that's a really big thing, is that we never taught anybody how to do something and why you shouldn't do like the mean things that we do, because all we know is that they're accessible and we can do them.
So this is actually a story from our high school. It was our freshman year.
What high school did you go to?
Durango High School.
There you go.
DHS. So at our high school, there was an incident, right, where someone started a rumor about this guy saying that he had a gun in his locker. Well, actually, it was that he had multiple guns in his locker. So I get this 100% accurate.
Nobody fucked with that guy, right?
Now, just spoiler alert, all of this that they claimed was not true. So, they claimed that he had, like, guns in his locker and that he was planning on, like, shooting up the school or something, right?
Some dark stuff.
Yeah, so he had a whole, like, big investigation into him. Pretty sure he actually got arrested as well. Like, there was this huge deal about it. It ended up being that it was something that was completely not true. And, mind you, this kid had been suspended for, I think it was at least 2 months while this was going on, if not 3. And then he had to go through the humiliation of coming back to his classes, and, like, everyone knew who he was. Everyone. Like, it was a huge thing. And, the guy was actually super nice. He was in my weight training class, and I remember the first day, like, I'd never gone to the gym before, so I had no idea how to do any of it. And he was so nice, like, he just helped me out with all this stuff, like, gave me stuff about, like, proper form with different, like, workouts and stuff. Super nice guy. Had him in a woodworking class as well. Very genuinely nice, amazing human being. And after that incident, like, he was basically ruined. To the point where he actually ended up moving to a town that was, like, sort of nearby, but, like, far enough that, like, it didn't carry with him too much. But, like, that's the kind of thing, like, I guess it's what you were saying. We were kind of saying, we had a similar end point, just, like, different means of it.
I have another story, if it's okay if I share that.
How long is the story, out of curiosity?
Like, probably just a few sentences.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I had a teacher. Her name was Miss Jameson, or Miss James, and I went to Pflugerville High School. And I think I saw her a few years after that we had graduated, and it was really sad. She was one of my favorite teachers. She was kind of a hard ass, but it was because she just knew that we could do better, and no, I could do better at least. And we got to talking, and it turns out her son committed suicide, probably like sophomore, maybe a freshman in high school, because for years he had been bullied because he had yellow teeth and like all these other like issues. And what was going on with nobody ever talked about was that he had a health deficiency, and when he was born, and it caused his teeth to go yellow, and it caused like some other like health things to go on. And she had been divorced, I think, and her husband like basically just like left her, and that was like the pinnacle of her life was her son. And people just bullied him, and it was really sad. And I remember like seeing her, and she was just not the same person anymore. And I think that it's just really, really terrible that people just have these opinions that they're just like, this person is just ugly because I don't understand how health goes. Like tell me right now, would you walk up to somebody with cancer and be like, you ugly bald piece of shit? No, you wouldn't.
Oh, absolutely not.
Exactly. And when I hear people like comment on people's looks because of stuff they don't understand, I'm just like, man, you deserve 2 feet up any orifice. There you go. End of story. Like, you just have no right to talk if you're going to talk about somebody's body without any knowledge of any of their health issues. It's like, get out.
I think that also that brings up a whole nother topic, which we could probably do a whole like second episode to this podcast, of just talking about like mental health stuff and how we've gotten to this very weird point with our society where it's valued in certain instances. Like, if every time that a young man or a young woman commits suicide, right? Everyone's like, we should have seen the signs. Like, we should have paid
They
attention
were the
to
greatest thing in the world.
that. Exactly.
We
But
just
then,
never knew.
but then 2 weeks later, we go back to just not caring about anything, about anyone's like mental health, and like half the time we don't even really care too much about people's physical health either. Like we've gotten to a point with our society where we just have stopped caring for each other, which I think is really sad.
What's that guy that like got viral for like the Target thing, where he was just a cute guy at Target? I don't remember it. Alex at Target. Perfect example of what you're talking about. Dude literally is just cute, checking out someone's groceries, goes viral, is like the number one thing. No other knowledge is known about him other than he's cute. That's it. Famous. No reason. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
All that people had known about people that got bullied, they weren't part of the normal. So they're terrible. Goodbye.
Yeah, like that's another thing that I was fine. Just I hate when people try to like when you're going into high school, everyone's always like, you gotta find where like you fit in, right? You gotta find your people. And I think that's such a stupid thing that we tell our kids when they're transitioning to high school. Because like the transition to high school is a hard one. Like some people have it really easy. I personally had a pretty easy transition. Some people really have a hard time with it. And I think it's really fucked up that we will tell our kids, you gotta go find your people. You gotta go find a place to fit in. If you don't find a place to fit in, you're the outcast.
My dad was just like, people don't like you and they're trying to fight you. You gotta beat the shit out of them. I was my dad. That was old fashioned. He was just like, here's how you throw a punch. Here's some weights. Figure it out. And I did. And I don't want my kid to have to figure it out. I think that.
See,
it's terrible.
I
terrible to tell you. You have to go find your people. Why? Why do I have to go find? What was like a fucking search? You sending me on a quest? Like I'm
Google search it.
What? Who am I, Frodo? You gotta go to Mordor for your people. Fuck that. I like legitimately.
Yeah, it's fucked.
It is. There's no. You know what I did to find my people? I like chilled. I've gotten like 1 or 2 fights, and that's about it. Like I got in maybe 1 or 2 fights with Jonathan. That was it. We're best friends. Why? Because I knew that like he wasn't a bad guy. He was just doing like shit because he needed to do shit. He needed to save his ass. I was like, yo, man, that's cool. I'm cool with it. Like I understand. Listen, if like I do the same thing, so like why not? Like what's up? How are you? I know the feeling. I relate to this. Like related best friends now. Past like I don't know 15 years. I don't know how old I was when I met him, but yeah.
Yeah, I had something similar to that where like I didn't necessarily have any of the like major groups that you think of in high school that you fit in. Like I wasn't an athlete. I wasn't a band person. Like I didn't really fit into any of that. I was just just a dude going through high school. And I ended up just kind of like building a group of people. Which for me, like, it mostly worked out. And it was just like, I have a class with someone, or like one person, we took the same bus home and, just started chatting. And then I was like, hey, like you should come hang out with us at lunch. And like I did that in the first few weeks. And then like, you had a bit of a group going. And unfortunately, like there's always issues that happen with that. And like groups split off, new groups form and stuff. But like realistically, I feel like that's more how it should be. And like there's always going to be groups where like, you tend to hang out with people that are more like-minded. Football players are probably going to be more likely to hang out with other football players. Like that's just a given. But I think we should change the mentality around it from go find your group of people to just go find people. Go find people that are going to be there for you. Go find people that, when you hit that lowest point in your life, and you've hit rock bottom, that they're going to be there for you. And they're going to help pull you up, regardless of what happens. And I think that would be way more valuable than anything else. Even if we just taught... If people could be fully proficient in one thing, I would want them to be fully proficient in finding good friends that will stick with them and support them. Because I feel like that's something that so many people miss. Like, if every single person who's ever committed suicide had even 2 people, just 2, that were always there for them no matter what happened, I firmly believe that they probably wouldn't have committed suicide.
I think,
or they at least have a much lower chance, at the very least.
I think that there's a sentence that I always tell people that, like, people always take out of context, but I'll be like, you know, you gotta learn to just not care. And they're just like, what do you mean? And they're like, you think that, like, this is gonna get better if I just didn't care about things? I'm like, no, not at all. I think that, like, if you didn't care what everybody else, like, said or thought, you would be living so much better. Like, and I don't mean that for you. Like, I don't mean that like, oh, I don't care what they think, I'm gonna do what I want. I think that if you don't care what people think about somebody else, and you didn't care. Like, we all had that kid in high school that, like, everybody like was always made fun of by somebody who was, like, really important, and then you were like, oh, I don't really want to talk with them. Like, I wanted my social look needs to be top tier for when I don't know, go fucking do drugs. I don't know. But, like, whatever, like, half the kids in high school did after high school, because they're in college. Like, we all know that statistic. But like, after that point, you're just like, what is the point if you can't even talk to somebody because somebody else doesn't like them? How weird is that? Like, nobody taught you that. You taught yourself that. When you went to school and Jimmy was getting bullied by, like, we'll call him Christopher, and, like, he was getting bullied by Chris, and you were like, man, I want Chris to like me, so I'm not going to talk to Jimmy. Who taught you that other than yourself? Who said, oh, I'm going to care about everything that Chris said? It was just you. And if you just learned at an early age just not to, like, sorry if there's any Chris's in like, listening, but, like, if you just,
my professor's name is Chris, but...
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, Chris. But if you just, like, were like, yeah, I don't care what Chris has to say about this person. I know nothing about them. That would be like if you were, like, a kid and when your parents were like, when you're like, oh man, that ice cream looks good, and they were like, well, it's broccoli flavored. You're just like, oh, I'm just gonna take their word for it. And then you came of age, and you're like, that's not broccoli flavored. That's Rocky Road, you liar. Like, it's honest. Like, you don't know anything about Jimmy. You just took what another person who's not even nice to you is saying about this random other person you don't know anything about, and you took it face value, and you're an idiot. And that's okay. It's okay to be stupid. You know, I support you in your decisions, but, like, if we had just been smart enough to think about that for a minute longer, I think life would just be way easier for people. Way easier.
Absolutely. And I like what you were first saying. Kind of this idea of, like, self-happiness, where...
Yeah.
In order, like, I know a lot of people say this, and it's super cliche, but it's really super accurate. That you're never going to be able to be, particularly with the lens of relationships, you're never going to be able to find that relationship that's going to make you fully happy and that's going to fulfill your life until you're fully happy with where you are at that point, at any given point in your life. Like, if you're not happy with yourself, no one is ever going to be able to make up for that lack of happiness there.
Yeah, I think that, like, the best way to ever think about anything, like, whenever you are, like, trying to make a decision, I think the best thing to remember is if you sat down with, like, within an art gallery and you asked, like, the, like, head of the art gallery, and you're like, oh yeah, who's the best painter in the world? They're just gonna look at you like you're an idiot. They're gonna be like, well, what time frame are we talking? What kind of art are we talking? Like, sculptures, paintings, like, what? Like, this is, like, such an open-ended and broad question that literally just asking that question makes you stupider in their opinion. And I mean, it's a fair question. Like, who's the best? Like, in my opinion, that's what they're gonna say. In my opinion, with, like, no other outside stuff, like this person. But if you're gonna ask them, like, academically, they're gonna be like, well, that's a dumb question because there's so much that goes into this. Time is, like, one of the, like, most important aspects of that, and who the person was, what emotions they were feeling, like was going on in the world. And I think that like if you're making a decision on people who are in and of themselves, each person is a masterpiece of science right there. I mean, like 1 in a trillion chance of like existing, and like you do, and then you're just like, I don't like this person because Chris said we don't like this person. I'm like, who's Chris? Oh, is this person at school? He's not my friend, but he knows what he's talking about. He's also 10 years old. Mom, 10 years old, know everything. So it's just, you have to remember that when making decisions, it would be like saying, hey, what's better, the Xbox or the PS4? We all know the answer is neither one, PC Master Race. But you're gonna sit there and debate which one you're gonna like drop money into. And at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, someone's gonna be like, oh well, PS4 because I had it since the first one, or they're gonna say Xbox because I had it since the first one. And that's fine. That's all of an opinion that you decided on. You're on your own. Like, thumbs up, you decided it on your own. But if you're like, yeah, Jacob is getting a PS4, so I need a PS4. I've never played on a PS4. Don't know any PS4 games. Only have ever had an Xbox. All my favorite games are Xbox exclusives, but I'm going to get a PS4 because James has a PS4. You're going to have a bad time. I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to have a terrible time. That's just a fact.
Absolutely. So, we've gone almost twice the length that I was going for, but it's but I'm counting the first, like, I don't know, we watched that like 6-minute video or whatever that was just for fun and silliness. I think we should probably try to wrap it up though. If you have any, oh boy, I'm letting the jokes write themselves. So any like closing thoughts as we wrap up this podcast?
Friendship is rare. Real friendship. I think that if you have a person that genuinely puts in the effort and you don't have time to put in as much effort as they are, and you want them to know that you care and that you are going to continue to put forth effort, that you just can't right now due to like mental health, or maybe just due to circumstantial like work going on, school or family or something like that, I think the best thing to do is just to text them. Just let them know. I mean, even if it's just like a quick message saying, hey, like, I'm doing this, bye. It takes 15 seconds out of your time to say, hey, going into this thing. You don't even have to send them a message. Send them a snap, dude. We all know y'all have Snap. We all know. Stop subscribing to them OnlyFans. Stop premium Snapchatting. Like, just takes 15 seconds to record a snap that says, I just woke up. I'm going into work. I don't want to be here. I hope you have a good day. And send that stuff, and you're fine. You're set. And they know you're okay. They know you want them to know you're okay. And I think that you could utilize your time making good friendships over making many friendships.
That was amazing. That was genuinely amazing. I love that.
I appreciate you.
So yeah, that's gonna be it for the podcast. We totally gotta like do this again, dude. Like,
oh yeah, anytime.
This is fun. We make a little YouTube channel, and we do podcasts on it.
Yeah,
I don't know. It sounds kind of fun.
Let's do a little YouTube chit chat. While we're playing some of that, we can all record screens while we play some games, and yeah, why not?
Yeah, it can turn into a lot of stuff, a lot of potential with that. So we're definitely gonna have to look into that. Anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for the podcast. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, brother. And
I appreciate
podcast out.